Okay, I think everyone's here. Nick will join in a few, he said, so we'll start. So today, Roopali, who is a program manager at Microsoft Open Technologies, will demo a new module she's been working on with some guys on the meeting, and she will explain who and why. Ben will do a demo about, I don't know what. We'll talk about 108. We'll talk about Harvest. And is Zoltan any demo today?
No, sorry.
No update on .nest?
We improved a lot, so actually now everything works that we intended to get working on the first day.
Great. Anyone else has some demonstration also, or some other topic they want to deal with? Roopali, 15 minutes? That's, well, don't worry, I will count. I'm sure it will be like 15 hours or something like that.
I have one topic to discuss.
So let's start with Roopali then. What are you talking about?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So thanks, Sébastien, for the introduction. So we are here today to demonstrate a module that Microsoft Open Technologies has built for Orchard. So I'm going to go ahead and share my desktop. Let me know if you guys can see it. That loads. The module was built with help from Daniel and Sipke, which I assume you guys know. You know these guys very well, and with help from Sébastien as well. So once you can see my desktop, I can start.
I can't see it still, and we're also waiting for Benedek to see it. Benedek, I'm recording, but I know you are recording too. I'm just a backup.
Okay, I can see it yet.
Okay, you can go, Roopali.
Okay, great. So before we go into the demonstration of the module itself...
Stop.
Yeah.
There's a big issue here.
What happened?
My name.
Your name?
It's Sébastien with an E, not an A.
Oh, sorry.
You should know that. Thank you, you can go.
Are you happy? Okay. Can I resume?
It's okay, go on. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So the module basically helps any Orchard user to manage media that's stored in Windows Azure Media Services. So before we go into the module details, I thought it'd be a good idea to just briefly touch upon what Azure Media Services, or WAMS in a short form, does. Then we can go into the module demo. So Azure Media Services is one of the services that Azure offers, similar to storage, caching, and so on, compute. The idea is that a media house can basically create these end-to-end workflows to help manage the media that they own or have, obtained from some provider. So basically, you can use the service to upload your videos and store it in Azure. You can encode the video. You can also transcode or format convert from one format to another. You can protect your video using DRM technologies like PlayReady. You can also, once it's in WAMS, then to get it out of WAMS, you can have on-demand streaming, or you can have live streaming, which is right now in a private preview. So it's basically an end-to-end media workflow. And you could have done this without media services previously. You could have something on-prem to store the videos. You could use something like Expression Encoder to encode the videos and so on, but WAMS just makes it easy for you by providing a service. There are several customers that use media services since it was launched. Some of them are listed here. The biggest one, I think, is NBC. The Olympics were using WAMS. Switching to the module itself, we feel that it is a useful module for customers such as maybe TV channels that have used Orchard for their websites, maybe some online education portals that create education videos and upload them, on their websites. Also, movie sites. One example could be AMC theaters. You could store AMC could store their videos in Azure and then use our module to manage the videos that are in Azure. So, given this background, the scenarios itself covered in the module, at a high level, these are the scenarios. First, you need to connect to media services and configure some settings, which I'll get into. Once you have a connection to media services through the module, then you can upload videos along with things like thumbnails and subtitles and so on. Once the video is in Azure, then you can encode it. And there's something called dynamic encoding or packaging, which I will get into when we demonstrate the module. Once you have the formats that you need in WAMS, then the next step is obviously to play these videos. And we have built some player code that helps play the video in the best player possible that's supported in the browser that the video is playing in. So this is the high-level scenarios. So let's get into the dashboard of Orchard. Does anyone have any questions? Okay. All right, so I'm on the Orchard dashboard. So the first thing we need to do is go to the settings, which I guess you guys are familiar with. So we have, the module has already been installed on the site, and it adds a section here called Cloud Media, which has all the settings we need to configure in order to start using the module. The main thing, of course, is you need to have a key to access the WAMS service. So to do that, before you can use the module, we need to go to the Azure Media Portal, and this is the service for media services. So here I have created an account, and if you go to the Manage Keys, you basically see a bunch of different values, not only for WAMS, but you can also basically configure your storage key as well, which is another service, or WAMS will get one for you. Either way, once you have this set up in WAMS, you need to grab these values and add them here. You can test if they work fine. Once it says successfully verified, you're good to go. There are a couple of other settings here which are useful to anyone who's using WAMS and managing the media. The first one is dynamic packaging. So there are two ways you can get different formatted videos from WAMS. One is you can kick off an encoding job and encode from one format to the other. So that's a manual process. The second one is something called dynamic packaging, where you basically need to enable this in WAMS. And once you do that, if the encoded video is in a certain format, then basically you have these dynamic URLs surfaced for you in three different formats, which all relate to adaptive streaming. One of them is HLS, that's the Apple format. There's Dash, which is a new adaptive streaming format that's in the industry right now. And then the third one is smooth streaming. So the advantage of using dynamic packaging over statically packaged videos is that since you're not statically packaging the video is not stored in Azure storage, so you're not paying for storage costs. It's dynamically created for you on the fly. So that's the advantage. So we do let the user to choose this. We also have something called the access policy, which basically dictates how long the videos that we are uploading to WAMS are accessible and what are the access permissions. So by default, we're configuring this to be, this converts to 5 years, and we're setting it to have read access. And there are a certain set of formats, or there are a certain set of extensions that are supported by WAMS when you upload, and this is basically the list of those extensions. We made them configurable because if they add more extensions in the future, then the user can just go ahead and add it over here without changing much. So let's go to the other setting, which is encoding. This basically lists out all the encoding presets supported by WAMS. The user can go ahead and choose one of them as the default. In this case, I have the H.264 broadband 720p. He can also delete the ones that he never cares about, or he can add something new. The reason we have this add new is in case WAMS supports any new preset in the future, then he can go ahead and add this. The third setting is if we are uploading subtitle files, then we may want to configure which languages we care about. So this is basically listing out the list of all the languages. You can go ahead and delete or add new ones. So this covers the settings. Now, once the user has finished settings, he can go to the media library, which is built in to Orchard core. And here I already have a folder. And basically, I'm going to go and import a video from using the module that we've built. So as you can see on the upload page, there are a couple of different things. There's basically, you can upload a file, a video file, any thumbnail, subtitles, and so on. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to choose a short file. I believe this is a 6 MB file. Shouldn't take too long to upload to Azure. It's pretty quick. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and choose a thumbnail file. There's also a way to dynamically generate thumbnails from the video, but we don't support that right now in version 1. And then I just created a sample TTML file, which is the format used for subtitles. And let's just say it's English. Okay. So once I have this, I can go ahead and I'm going to leave the rest. I guess I can just have something here. This is basically saying this is going to be short if the video cannot be played on the browser. Just typing something here. And I think you guys are familiar with these buttons. They're standard Orchard actions. So I'm going to go ahead and publish this cloud video item. Okay, at this point, it's successfully created. So let's go to this Assets tab, and I think Asset requires a little bit of explanation. WAMS views content that's stored in the service as an asset. So the video I uploaded is an asset. The thumbnail, here we're treating that as an asset. Subtitle is treated as an asset. All of these are grouped together from an Orchard perspective inside this item called the cloud video item. As you can see here, it's listing out the original file that I uploaded, calling it the mezzanine, and also the thumbnail and the subtitles. There are also a bunch of different data points that we are providing here for every asset. So the private and the public refers to basically locators. So when you upload something into WAMS, you need a way to access that asset. The way you access it is by obtaining something called a locator. So both private and public are basically just referring to the locators for the videos. If I hadn't published the video, then the only thing you would see here would be a private locator, which basically means you can access the file from the dashboard, but you cannot access it from the front end of Orchard, and you cannot add it to a page, for example. Once it's published to WAMS, then you have a public locator. So it just gives us flexibility in controlling what can or cannot be added to the front end. We also have this thing called include in a player. So we have some player code that's used to play the videos that we are uploading to WAMS inside of the dashboard, as well as from a page if you do add the cloud video item to a page. So what this column is basically indicating is if you want the asset to be included to be viewed from the player or not. That's what that column is. I'm going to skip over the media query, but that basically refers to the HTML5 source tag that's available, and you can specify a media query that basically describes what type of devices would this video be playable in. If you have any questions, I can address them later. And then the upload status, whether it's been uploaded or not. I don't know if there's a question here.
I'm answering some of the questions, Roopali, as they come up.
Okay, cool, thanks. And then you have actions, which basically, right at this point, is just deleting a video. All right, so now that we have this initial setup, I'm going to go ahead and create a job, which is basically, at this point in version 1, we only have jobs that help you encode, but there are other kinds of jobs that WAMS supports. You could encrypt videos, you could also generate thumbnails and so on. So for now, we have encoding jobs. So I'm going to go ahead and create an encoding job. The input asset is the original file that I have. just going to say test output. Have more descriptive names and descriptions. Now the encoding preset that I'm going to choose is one that will enable me to see the dynamic URLs. So there are two types of encoding presets that help with that. One is the multi-bitrate MP4 and the other one is smooth streaming. So I'm going to go ahead and choose one of these multi-bitrate MP4 encoding presets, this one, and then I'm going to say create job. At this point, a job is created in WAMS, and this module will show me the status of this job as it progresses. So right now it's in a pending state. So this will take a few minutes because the input file is 6 MB and it's creating multiple files with different bit rates, and I believe the output would be somewhere in 30 megabytes for this. So while this is processing, I'll just show you some of the other things in here. So preview basically helps you preview the cloud video item. So this is the player code, and Daniel can provide you more details later if needed. So we basically are going to choose between a Flash player, a Dash player, or an HTML5 in that order. So if the browser supports Flash, then we will use that player. If not, Dash, and if not, we will choose the HTML5 player. At this point, nothing is playable because the only video you have in the cloud video item is the original format, and we made a design choice not to preview or play the mezzanine format just because they come in all sorts of formats, and it's some of them are not even playable. So once we do have the encoded job complete, then we'll have another video and we should be able to play that as well as any of the dynamic videos. So let's go ahead and see. Okay, this is still processing. So while that happens, let me just show you one more thing, which is the content definition, which I guess all of you are already familiar with, but this is the video item that we have. And when customers are using ingestion or uploading videos to WAMS, not only do they want to have the video and the thumbnail and so on, but they also want to add some custom metadata. So we plan to use this add field here, and maybe something like genre, and I could add that, and then basically I'm not going to save it, but if I do, then it will show up during the ingestion phase, and let me enter this for every single asset that's uploaded. What else? The other thing is this cloud jobs page. So this basically shows all the jobs that have ever been kicked off from this module, and it also helps you see what the status is. So at this point, I see that the job that I just kicked off is finished. So let's go back to the MediaLibrary, and this is the cloud video item. So I'm going to go ahead and see what has been made available. So at this point, you see there's a new entry here, which is the corresponds to the output of my encoding job. So first, there is this file, which is the multi-bitrate MP4 file that I manually encoded. Now, given that this is in one of the formats that supports dynamic packaging, you have these three URLs that are showing up here for 3 different formats. The other thing is, if you do click on one of these assets, then you will see a bunch of different information. So this is the same thing that's carried over, but these are all the locators that I talked about. And you also have all this rich information that WAMS provides as a result of an encoding job. So things like MIME type and the duration and so on. And some of this information is essential for the player to play the video inside Orchard on the dashboard or in a page. And this preview is basically, let's go ahead and preview it. So this basically will show the video that we uploaded. Okay, and then I think this is just standard Orchard feature. So I can go ahead and create a page, and I can basically choose the video that I created, add it to a page, and then if I do publish it, then it will play the video. So that's the other option. I think I have covered all of the functionality. Daniel, is there something else that you want to talk about?
We had a question in the chat window about changing the fallback sequence of the player code. I'd just like to clarify that the reason why we use this specific fallback sequence that we do, which is to use Flash with smooth streaming first, and then Dash, and then lastly HTML5, is that WAMS is pretty much all about, the real value of WAMS is when you start getting into dynamic packaging. And dynamic packaging gives you, on the other end, a manifest that allows you to use a player that supports adaptive streaming. So a player that can switch between bit rates as your connection speed goes up and down, basically. And that's not something that's supported by any browser out of box just as part of the HTML5 video element, except Safari on iOS. They support Apple's HTTP live streaming out of the box natively in the HTML5 video element. No other browsers or platforms support it. So that's why, in order for people to really get the most out of WAMS, we chose Flash as the first choice and Dash as the second one. Because that's really, if you're using this module, it means you probably want to get that value out of WAMS and be able to use adaptive streaming. And then Flash would make more sense.
Yeah, actually we just had HTML5 before, but then that would showcase on demand, which you can do anyway from Azure Storage. You don't really need WAMS for it. So like Daniel said, adaptive streaming is the feature we want to showcase through this module.
Yeah, you could say if you don't want to use adaptive streaming, you don't really need to use WAMS for much at all. You can just upload, a static video file as part of the built-in functionality in Orchard, and this module wouldn't really give you anything special if that's all you need.
Awesome. So I see Ilan and Nick seem interested by the module and have some experience on that and talk a lot much more than usual. Ilan, what do you think? Or maybe you can talk.
No, look, this is the stuff that gets me up in the morning, right? It's an amazing product module, and it looks amazing. I have a ton of questions, but they don't reflect at all the wow factor of what was delivered.
And so for Roopali and the people, I'm think there are some people from Roopali's team or the media services team in the meeting right now. So Ilan used to work at Onestop, which is a web company building lots of websites for big brands. And now Ilan is working at BigCommerce, I think I'm right, in Austin, again in the web, and so just to explain why who you are and what you are doing, because they might not know, and why your comment is interesting. And Nick, you didn't say anything.
Hi guys. No, it looks fantastic. When I worked at ITV, they spent a great amount of time
explain ITV.
Pardon?
Explain ITV.
It's the news term.
Okay, you guys know BBC, so it's like a privately owned version of BBC in the UK.
Yeah, we've heard of that. We have someone from UK on my team, and he said it's one of the biggest news channels there.
Yeah, second. So, we had two massive systems that did all this. Everything. We had BizTalk in the middle doing stuff as well. And this kind of removes all of it, minus the external ingestion. A lot of the times where you end up managing content, it's actually a lot of external feeders push everything into one system. So external ingestion points are really important.
Mm-hmm.
Also, when integrating with BBC, I know that pushing out playlists was a massive thing as well. As well as manifests. So
Great feedback. I think the first one, which is getting content from third-party providers. Right now, yes, we don't kind of support that scenario, but I think the ideal way would be to get these providers to push to storage directly using something like Aspera, which is a quick way of uploading things. And then what we would need in the module is basically say create things in WAMS with the videos that are stored in the storage.
Yep. Yeah.
Could also leverage the workflow module to get somebody to accept somebody who's pushed
about to
stuff
say that.
And there's so many other Orchard-y type of tools that you could leverage, which, I mean, for me to say it is a bit silly with Daniel and Sipka on the case here, that just really complement this amazing module. I have just one question. If I happen to have the Media Manager up and running already on my Orchard instance, does this complement, conflict, supplement?
This is integrated in the Media Manager. So you see the thumbnails. Can you show the media page, Roopali, again, please?
Yeah.
Yes, you see, it's just the Media Manager page, so which means it's integrating in the Media Manager. So you see your videos and your images, no, just the media page, the main page, Roopali. So it shows the
right.
You see, it's an asset like another. It's a media like another, and you can filter and you can also search. So they've tried the search engine too with that.
Great.
That's the media, just there. So from let's say you got an editor who doesn't have to push any video, he can pick from the video library and just push it on the web on a page, and it will use media services.
I'm assuming also you can use the taxonomies to tag various videos, etc.
Exact content item. It's a content item, so you can, yes. I think she almost demoed that when she created a new field attached to the type.
It seemed to hint to that, yeah.
Yeah, I think the other thing I didn't demo was the search, but I guess you already know about it since it's already built into Orchard core.
It should.
On the clouds.
Roopali, are you able to share any of the information about what we descoped from this version? What's in the works?
So a few things we descoped. One of the big things was encryption support. So encryption in a bunch of different scenarios. One is during upload. So you can say you want to encrypt, you want to basically encrypt and then upload and store it in an encrypted format in the storage. You also want to make sure that all encoded videos are encrypted. Plus, there's something that's in preview right now, which is dynamic encryption. So if you have dynamic videos, then you also want to make sure you can encrypt them, and what you need is dynamic encryption. So the whole encryption part has not been integrated into version 1, but there's definitely something we're looking at for version 2. Can you show a front page? Okay, I don't know what that means. Does it want...
Maybe the page you just published? I don't know, you wanted to publish?
I did publish it.
Okay.
Yeah, I can publish it.
Yeah, maybe you want to see what a video looks like when it plays.
And the other thing that we plan to add in version 2 is bulk ingestion. So right now we don't have, you need to add one video at a time from a single instance of the module, but you can always open up multiple tabs and add more videos if you want. And what are the other things? Yes, the other one is something called custom preset. So basically you can define sort of custom encodings and presets in an XML format and provide it to WAMS, and then WAMS will process it. So we don't have support for that. We just have static presets. I think those were the high-level ones. There were other things which were a little more complicated. I'm not even sure if the module should be doing that. Related to like replication across different data centers. What happens if something goes down? Once a data center goes down, how would you manage it? Yeah, so this is the page for whoever that was asking.
I've got a question, if you don't mind. How would you stop a video from being played? So let's say you introduced a pay model into this. So the user had to have a particular right or something.
Mm-hmm.
So when you hit play, that video could then play. Is there a way of saying, well, when I hit play, that it can make a check against the user in order to stop that video from playing, or
you could so the way that we render the player on the front end is through just a pretty elaborate shape template with lots of scripting and stuff going on. You could override that template and do pretty much whatever you want in terms of that kind of logic on the front end, where you can either in the server-side code of your shape template you can do this kind of check, or as part of just do an AJAX call from the client side to verify that the current user has permissions to view this video, and if he doesn't, then don't play it.
Okay.
I think the other solution is, which we don't have, is digital rights management. So we should be able to set up who can view the video and what rights they have.
Yeah.
We don't have that right now.
Ilan asked a question about the licensing and how you want to ship it.
So, very good question. So we would like to ship it inside Orchard core by default. So I guess we would make a contribution to...
I accept credit cards and checks.
So we would make a contribution to Outercurve. And I believe there's a way to sign a CLA or something. And
and Eric is on. So Eric Schultz. You've been in emails with him in the past. Eric is on the call actually right now. Eric Schultz from Outercurve. So so the goal is to have this module in Orchard core modules with the Azure module actually, like the cache, the blobs, and everything. There will be also media. So now there are two steps. The legal step, which is that Microsoft Open Technologies has to grant the code or grant the rights to Outercurve Foundation, because now it will be shipped with Orchard as an Outercurve IP, but they are handling that. There are lawyers talking, so let's them talk. And also there is a technical step, which is to include the module in Orchard and to ensure that it complies with our naming conventions and stuff like that, just to check, just to ensure, because I've seen how they worked. I mean, MS OpenTech, Roopali, and Daniel and Sipke, and so it's technically it's beautiful. It's well done. It's with a very high quality. So that should not be an issue in this way. And we also need the agreement from the committee to do that. Ilan likes it. Bertrand seemed to like it too. He thinks also it's an important addition to Orchard. So there should not be any issue with that. Is a controversial topic, but yes, it's being specific. You were not commenting on my comment. So it should be done. I will try to include it this week with that, if everyone agrees. So we'll see.
Is there any more work planned on this? I know that there were things that were descoped, so I'm assuming there may be a version next based off of what was descoped and maybe rescoped. But what about just small iterative mods? Is there still some work there that you are all thinking of executing?
So we're thinking of all the work that's not in version 1 as part of version 2, apart from any bug fixes that we might have to do for any issues that our customers hit. Does that answer your question, or?
Somewhat. So there's actually two parts. One is, will version 2 or 3 also therefore be, if we integrate this in core, are those also going to be given back to the community, or will they not be given back to the community?
Yes, we will give it back to the community. Actually, I don't know if you guys know about OpenTech, but OpenTech is a Microsoft subsidiary, and we work on open source projects. So most of our projects are donated back to the community.
Yeah,
keyword being most.
So MS OpenTech, for instance, owns the anti-framework code, Siglar, web platform like ASP.NET stuff, MVC. Every open source project which is done by Microsoft, the two best projects like NuGet and Orchard are in Outercurve, but the rest is in MS OpenTech. So they handle most of the open source projects in Microsoft. Microsoft. Technically, this is not exactly Microsoft for legal reasons, but this is Microsoft. They are in the same buildings, the same blue badges, same Microsoft employees. So this is Microsoft.
Yeah, it's a fully owned Microsoft subsidiary. It's a separate legal entity, but it's owned by Microsoft.
As Stanley mentioned, it's at Microsoft.com email, so that's pretty clear.
Yeah.
And
we've been working.
In terms of making iterative mods for user experience, are you guys interested in feedback and doing that or not?
Yes, very much.
Okay.
We have a few internal customers and they give us feedback, but we definitely would like feedback from external customers as well.
And we share some names of internal customers.
Internal?
Yeah.
I don't think I can reveal them.
But we have.
Yeah, we have internal customers. When they go public, we'll all know.
I don't know when. I'm not sure. Maybe they're already public. I will ask them. Have a meeting with some of them just after.
Yeah, thanks, Yolan. Yeah, we would love to get your feedback.
I see also lots of kinds of. Well, your goal is to sell WAMS. You want more WAMS users, and that's I think a good way to get more users on your side to integrate into CMSs, Orchard being one. For Orchard, it's awesome because it's more services available out of the box for web developers, and everything you've done would have been done by them. So now they don't have to do that. Just publish a video and it's available. So that's great. I'm sure Zoltan should create a recipe for creating, let's say your own YouTube. So you want to create a website where people can publish videos and handle the homepage and stuff like that with taxonomies and everything.
That's exactly what we were chatting about on Skype.
So you see, so do that, and
yes. One more module, and you can create your own little internet on .NET.
Exact. Yes. For those who don't know, we're not there last week. Zoltan and Benedek have released .nest, which is an hosted Orchard solution, Orchard as a service. So they could just create a recipe with this module and let people create a website to host videos based on WAMS, and it would be great. Your YouTube or your company's YouTube or whatever for free. You just have to get an account on WAMS. WAMS meaning Windows Azure Media Services. WAMS. That's the little name here. Awesome.
Roopali, question. I see you talking about Coplex and bug tracking and stuff. If we decide to bring this module into core, then it would be part of the Orchard repository on Coplex, right? So the feedback would be handled through the same channels as all the other Orchard feedback, basically.
Okay. Sébastien, do you want to mention the web gallery update we will make?
Yes, it's kind of implicit and obvious because once this module is in the core, it will be shipped with Orchard, within Orchard. So with the same ways we ship today, like on the Codeplex download page and also on the Azure gallery and the web app gallery, which means when you download it from Azure or when you install it on Azure is in the gallery, it will be available out of the box. So this is kind of implicit when we say that the module will be in the core.
Yeah. So what are the next steps, Sébastien?
Ship 1.8. That's what I'm working right now on. So yeah, so for you all, well, we'll talk offline for that, for how we need to do that, and also with the Outercurve IP that we need to deal with. But yeah, it's going on. So and for the community, so that raises the topic of 1.8. My goal is to have it ready by next week for next meeting, the 1.8, and then see what's remaining and decide to publish it, to go live, and yep.
Okay, great.
Roopali, and thank you MS OpenTech and the WAMS team.
Yeah, thanks all of you for your time.
Daniel and Sipke for the development.
Well done, well done.
Great. Next topic. Ben, 5 minutes. Ready?
Okay, what's going on? You guys hear me?
Yep.
All right, cool. Just,
If you share your screen, just wait for us to see it, Benedek and I.
Yeah. Got a pull request to have in. Let me know when you see my screen.
Just the name looks nice.
Oh yeah.
We can see it. I can see it,
Okay.
Benedek.
Yeah, I can do. Thanks.
Go then, Ben.
All right, so I linked the change request in the chat. Basically, we're having an issue where in the media library, the entire folder structure was being downloaded on load, and this was causing massive problems because we had hundreds of folders embedded in some of our sites. So this is a quick change to do async folder loading and collapsibility. You can go ahead and load folders and collapse them as needed. It's a fairly minor change, but from a user point of view, but I think it's very important. And that's basically the entire thing. I'm done presenting.
Can you click? I didn't see anything.
Okay.
Okay,
So-
this now I see. Okay, beautiful.
So all these folders are loading async. That's really it.
Great. Can you also handle the issue I have right now, which is the length of a folder name?
No, not
Like-
yet. I can do that in a different
What?
change request.
Please. Okay, great. That's awesome. Yeah, because when I did this thing, I had like 2 folders, so I didn't actually see the issue. And but I know some people have more than 2 folders and have issues with that.
It's fast locally, and it's really slow in Azure.
Yeah, it could take like 10 minutes for a page to load if we had hundreds of folders.
Yes, and this is also another issue that we could see with Azure, because we or I sometimes don't directly see the issues with the file system locally, so I don't see there is an issue, so I don't focus on it, and the calls are too chatty with the API. And when you go on Azure, when there is some latency because it's all cloud, and then the issues tend to show up by themselves. So I've been experiencing it myself. I agree. Who said that it was too slow on Azure? I didn't get who said that.
That was me, Stanley.
Okay, thanks. Yep. Good. Thank you, Ben.
No problem.
Guys, still waiting for this audit tray module.
Yes, we need to set aside
Next week,
some
okay.
bandwidth for that.
Yeah, as soon as we get the bandwidth, we do want to do it. We just haven't
Right.
had the time.
Thank you. No pressure. I don't pay for it. So. If someone wants to pay for it, that's fine. Oh, by the way, that's a very nice example of what MS OpenTech has done, because they wanted it done quickly, so they just contracted some guys who know just stuff on Orchard, and they got it done. So instead of waiting, if they could finance that, so that's a very good way to improve the open source products like that.
While we're on the topic of media library bugs, I started this thread the other day because these are 3 bugs that at least are harassing our users in the media library, and we'd like to get them fixed. We just need some input from everybody to know what the best fix for them are.
Thank you. You shared the link. Look into the chat.
Yeah, if you can, please.
Yep. Next topic, Brett announcement.
Yeah, hey everyone. As most of you probably know, Onestop Internet is a very active user in the Orchard community, and we are in the process of moving all of our clients over to our new platform, which is all based on Orchard. And Elon was with Onestop for a few years and helped build that product. And I'm one of the founders of the company and have been with Onestop since the beginning, 11 years now. The company's grown to 200 plus employees. We have around 35 clients. Some of them are really large, like True Religion Jeans, J-Brand Jeans, a lot of denim apparel companies. So we've been actively using Orchard and loving it, and we're slowly a little bit slower than I'd like moving all of our clients over to our new platform. And our engineering team is all switching from our old Web Forms classic platform into the Orchard platform that we've built. So it's been a small team, and that team is now growing as those engineers move over. I've resigned from the company. So that's my announcement, is just that I'm not going to be at Onestop anymore. I'm going to do a startup and do this again and try something new again. And it's in the music business, and I'm very excited about it. But I still want to be part of the Orchard community personally, so I will try and come to the calls and stay involved and see where we can use Orchard in the new company. It's mostly going to be mobile-based and app-based, so not as much of a need for a CMS platform, but we'll still try and find a way to use it somehow if I have any say in it, and I will. With that, I just wanted to say it's been great, working with the community, and I'm not going anywhere. You'll still see me around. And also, I wanted to introduce George, who is on the call now too. I don't think he has video on. Bad George. But George is kind of stepping into my shoes as the kind of head architect of the new platform, and he's been someone that's very skilled, and he's learned a lot about Orchard in the last 2 years. And we're happy to have him at the company. And he moved to the Santa Monica office so he could be kind of at the hub of where it's all happening. And hopefully he'll join the calls. And George, if you want to say something and say hello to everybody, that'd be great. And yeah, that's about it. If anyone has any questions, shoot me an email. I'm going to go ahead and paste my new company's jobs link in the IM. If anyone's interested in moving to LA, we are hiring. So I'm just getting it started. A lot to do, a lot to learn. But
you're not allowed to talk about it because it won't use Orchard. So
it may in some ways.
Yeah, there may be a website with media on it, okay, and videos.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you. In the name of the community, thank you, Brett, for all you've done. And George, we like you today. We might not like you in the future. We'll see. I hope we like you even more than we did for Brett. Still before Brett.
Good luck with that. That's going to be tough. But George is a funny guy, so maybe
good.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you, Brett, for everything. But you'll still be around. Look at Ilan. He left, but he's still here.
You're not going to get rid of me, exactly. Still going to be talking about Bitcoin.
And there's a conference in June.
Yeah.
Yes, we're expecting to see quite a bit of Brett in Santa Monica. So I know some of you already. Hello, welcome. Yes, I'm sure Brett will be plying us all with Bitcoin and telling us the ups and downs. So we're not going to get rid of him quite so easily, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm still staying on the board of Onestop, so I have a vested interest in Orchard and how Onestop uses it. Yeah. George, maybe I have an excuse. My video is actually not working, which is rare for me. George has no excuse. He's just hiding.
Yeah, I want to see George's gap now. Is it?
Yeah.
Well, my camera is in Santa Monica, unfortunately, so I have to bring it down here.
Yeah.
So welcome, George.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hope we'll see you every week.
That's the plan.
Okay, good. Thanks, Brett. What else do I have? And good luck for your new adventure. I won't cry because I already knew about that, so I won't fake it. Then, what do we have? Harvests. So I asked to book. It's not official still, so don't take your flight right now. So I had to book for June 9, 10, and 11. Okay, so for you it means new dates, 9, 10, and 11. I previously talked about 2nd and 3rd of June, but based on the feedback last week, we could have 3 days on 9, 10, and 11. So the other news is 3 days, not 2 like we did in the last. Oh, Christian, you're late because the meeting is already done. It's summertime in the US now, so sorry. You have to watch it recorded. So it will be 3 days because we will. If we can have those dates, I've asked them, so now I just need the answer so to see if they are reserved for us. We can have 3 days because we might have some, or we will have, if we have 3 days, some talks from the ASP.NET employees at Microsoft on the new stuff that we've been working on, and also from very well-known speakers at Microsoft. So we can then envision more activities during those 3 days, and talks about ASP.NET and Orchard, so that will be nice. Still not confirmed. I should have the confirmation today, tomorrow, or on Thursday, and I will tell you as soon as I know. And Nick, you don't fly to the UK on the 9th, you fly directly to Seattle.
Okay.
You go the other way around, east or not west. Okay, any question about that? Booking the dates is an important matter, because then only we can start organizing what's inside and talks and organization around, and shirts, t-shirts, jackets, hats, pens, and everything.
How much is it, solution to?
Yeah, mute, sorry. No other question? Did I miss anything on the... yeah, so I will end the meeting with what we usually start with, actually, the status and code base, what has been done the last week.
And we have to do some big triage sometime, because there are really loads of issues.
I know.
Very long outstanding.
Do you want to do an off triage with me if you have time?
Yeah, I actually thought about that.
I can set up.
Everybody interested.
Okay, I can set up another meeting, and people who want to join will join if they can.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, and okay, so we talk about it offline, and we define something which is fine for us, and then we can invite everyone. Okay.
And also, it's getting to the time when we have to go through all the Orchard future issues, because I noticed there are a lot of old open issues that were actually fixed in the meantime.
Okay.
Nobody saw them.
Okay. So let's talk about it offline with the strategy for the triage, the big triage.
Right.
Fourth day of harvest only for triaging. We could. Okay. Sharing my screen. 1 minute. Screen. Closing windows. Where is the show? Stop. Done. Sure. So I can see my screen. Benedict, just tell me if you can see mine. With words and sounds.
It says loading.
Okay, start here.
And still loading.
Okay. So last week I took some time to review and do some pull request job, some work on that. So lots of them have been included. This one was the first one, I assume. This is the one from Daniel about calendar support. So now it's been included and it works fine for me. And for him too, I assume, up to there. This one from, so Coding Lab is his company. His name is, I can't remember, sorry. Thierry from France. So he mentioned a bug on the remove tags, which is used for indexing. When you index the body, or anything which has tags, you don't want to index the tags. So it's extracting all the tags. But the issue was that even though it was extracting all the tags, the these special chars like the ampersand, code, semicolon values were not unencoded. So this change set fixes the issue by adding another overload, which lets you also unencode the string if you want to index it or to extract the text of it. This taxonomy token not chaining is also made a fix because of the colon here, which was breaking the chain of the terms tokens. Validation message from Wahami or Waham something, I don't know, Eric Schultz. Actually, you know, Eric, when I went back on this pull request I had commented on, which was, my comment was, please, so the previous text was username must be longer than blah characters, okay? And he said, no, it should be username must be at least characters. And characters long, he said. And I said, no, please remove long. He said, okay, I'll do that. But actually, I think, well, I'm just French, so you must be more right than me. So now I think maybe long was best, but it's okay, it's fine. At least it's less worse. This one from HQE, Norwegian guy, no, Netherlands, sorry, I can't remember your name. Sorry. Include the filter drop-down box. Div. Yes. So it's a new drop-down box at the content list level. Is it in the picker? I can't remember. The picker, and I think also, yes, both of them. The picker, I think, and maybe also the main list, where you can decide if you just want to see published version, draft, all versions now. This one is to support the return URL on the register page. So some scenarios you want to the logon and the register to return someone to a specific URL. This one, adding a notification, a new comment, was that when the comment is added, now you get a notification. You only got a notification if it was moderated or if there was an issue. Now there is also a notification saying your comment has been posted, everything went right. So go on. This one from Jasper. This one is about command line username empty now raises an issue. Lots of them from Lombik, our friends Zoltan and Benedek. Mostly on Azure and how you set up settings. They could talk better about it than I would, so tell us.
Yeah, okay, so the first one is basically changing a static class. So the platform configuration is the one that reads settings, and it's moved into an injectable dependency, so you can create your own implementation. And then it's also extended so that it reads the connection strings and app settings.
Good.
Yeah, basically that's it. And the third one is that you can define public URL for your static resources, and it's going to be also read out from the settings.
Yeah, so you can separate where you are internally reading the media, the storage files, separating them from how you render them on the front end. That's it.
Right.
Okay, same thing for the last one, and this one, yeah, bug fixing. No, this is part of the same work. Okay, thank you. This I won't show. This I did last week, based on an issue which was raised on the Codeplex forum, and I didn't link the issue. So what it does, it's actually that when you enable the email module, it will ask you for some SMTP settings. Now it will first look into the Web.config SMTP settings. And if there are some values, they will even be displayed as placeholders in the SMTP settings themselves. And you can override the Web.config settings in the pertinent settings if you want, and if you are allowed to. The idea with that is Zoltan will like it, I'm sure. The idea with that is that if you have lots of tenants on your Orchard setup, you can set up the SMTP settings for all the tenants, and that's it. It will be used like this. I think that's good. Also,
that's really nice, because we have made a workaround on .NET where the SMTP settings are pre-filled if you enable Orchard.email or something. So yeah, but that's better.
Good. This one, just try out. I'm not sure we want to keep it. I was reading the blog post in response to Franz Booma's post about performance and ORMs, and one of the guys said that you should not use the defaults in an IBNet configuration, and suggested a set of properties for the default configuration in IBNet. I know that since Piotr's commit, you can customize it if you want in your own module. Here, I'm just setting the default values for most of the default properties in an IBNet configuration. I'm sure most of them are the defaults, which mean they won't have any impact, but just in case they are explicitly set now, and we'll see if it's, at least if it's not breaking anything, we'll keep it like it, hoping there will be some little improvement in performance. Piotr might have more knowledge about it than myself, so we'll see. And
you should pull on the text now.
Sorry?
You should pull on the text now. I committed one just after you with the NHibernate changes.
Oh, okay, I'll check that. Thank you. That's it for the status. Anyone else has some questions, comments? Did I miss anything in the chat in the meantime? Yes, Bertrand, good point. Yes, test button. There is there's an open bug for that actually, and I tried it like quickly, 10 minutes. I was not able to do that. Too complex for me, so I just postponed it. Other matters to do. But if someone wants to create a test button on the SMTP settings, go on. I'll take the pull request, because it's a pain, we all agree, to set up some SMTP settings and to test if it works. We never know if it's Orchard or if it's the SMTP server or the configuration or whatever. So please add a test button in it. Daniel, you want to show something next week? Daniel Rodpl on Codeplex, Daniel Dabrowski. If you want to demo some new stuff you've done, it's fine with us. Everything you do is good, so show us. What a shame. MSC is an internal project I'm working on. I don't even know what MSC means, so tell me if you know. Okay, I think that's it. Nothing more. Wait. Okay, MSC, I don't know. Not yet. Okay, I'll look at that then. Thank you, everyone. See you next week or before if we set up the triage meeting. And happy orcharding. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.